This team is grasping it at a wild card spot. They're grasping at the playoffs. Ron's trying to save his job. Sam Howell's balling. That guy's killing it. What are Commanders fans doing? Why aren't they calling us at 800-636-1067? Is it just because you beat the blah Patriots?
Well, I think part of it
what's happening here?
I think part of it is because the way the last few weeks have played out, people have kind of written off the season, and no one wants to really buy in the playoff talk yet. They know we beat a mediocre Patriots team. I think JP pointed out that somebody's done analysis of the schedule, and like down the stretch, I think we might have the sixth toughest schedule.
I gotta find it, but they have one of the tougher remaining schedules in the NFL.
And I think people they know change is probably inevitable.
Yep.
Barring some crazy run, which is kind of what Ron specializes in.
It's kind of his thing.
Right around the time where Ron pulls the rabbits out of his butt.
Yeah.
Right? Where he just starts reeling off 3 or 4, 4 or 5 or whatever. And kind of the heart, like where people are kind of sleeping. So if he's able to do that, this could be an interesting stretch run.
But you still have hope. Look, you have hope with 4 wins, 4 and 5. You're right in the mix.
They're the first team on the outside looking in right now.
Now you might look at the schedule and go, all right, well, we kind of like John Keim said, you got to steal a 1 or 2 against a team right now that's got 5 wins, like Seattle, right? So the remaining schedule: Seattle 5 wins, Cowboys 5 wins, Dolphins 5 wins. The Jets may have 5 wins if they win tonight. 49ers 5 wins, Cowboys again. So, yeah, the schedule ramps up big time. You're not playing the poo-poos anymore. Mm-hmm. But, the way Hal's playing, the way Bieniemy's calling these offensive game plans, maybe they can steal one and win one of these games that you didn't expect. But the bottom line is you still have hope. You're in it. You're not mathematically eliminated. You're in it.
No, these games are definitely meaningful.
Gives you a reason to watch.
And, the Seattle game this week is going to be really, really interesting because I think it's a decent football team who's coming off a dud, so they're going to be super motivated. Yep. Where is that game?
It's at Seattle.
At Seattle, which is obviously one of the toughest places to play.
That's why it's very difficult,
Yeah.
Seattle has 5 wins on the season. I give them 2 quality wins out of the 5. They won at Detroit, and they beat the Browns. Their other 3 wins are against the Panthers, the Giants, and the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. They have 2 real good wins, 3 kind of meh.
No, they're not great.
They got them to 5.
But you got to travel all the way out there and play them.
It's tough.
And that's a tough place to play.
Definitely.
And like we already talked about, they just got embarrassed by 34, so they ain't going to be happy.
And then, of course, you still have a certain percentage of the fan base. Now, I think they're losers. Like losers. You're a loser if you think this way, that we should just lose and get better draft picks. Like, we're at the halfway point. You don't give up on the season at the halfway point.
If you're sitting at this point with 1 win or 0 wins, then you continue on that track. But this team they're contending for a wild card spot.
Well, if you have
this
one
is not
win,
the time to tank.
If you have 1 win, you don't have the ability to win games.
Right.
All right, Washington's got 4 wins. They've got the ability to win some more games.
Right.
Now, they may not beat, Dallas or the 49ers, some of these other teams that you wouldn't expect them to win, but at least mathematically there's a chance.
Here's what tankathon.com says. Currently, in terms of remaining schedule, and if you want to chime in, 800-636-1067, Washington has the 8th toughest schedule left. Mm-hmm. They face teams with a combined winning percentage of .530, but they break it down into toughest opponents and easiest opponents. All right, so toughest opponents, they've got the Dolphins, the 49ers, the Cowboys twice, the Seahawks, and Jets. In terms of easiest opponents, they only have 2 in that column.
The Giants are 1.
And the Rams.
And the Rams.
Okay.
All right, now, one of the teams maybe that should be on the radar for the playoffs, just the exact opposite. Easiest schedule remaining is the Atlanta Falcons. They only have 3 games against what they call tough opponents. Once against the Jets, 2 against the Saints. Mm-hmm. The Falcons have the Cardinals on the schedule,
right?
The Panthers on the schedule, the Bears on the schedule, the Bucks, and the Colts.
What about the Vikings? The Vikings worry me because
the Vikings are kind of middle of the pack schedule-wise.
Yeah.
So they have 4 games left against what they dub tough opponents. Twice against the Lions. They've got the Bengals and the Saints. Mm-hmm. But they've got 4 cupcakes compared to the 2 cupcakes for the Commanders. They've got Bears, Packers, Broncos, Raiders.
Because Dobbs, even in limited exposure to their offense, he showed he's a capable quarterback. And as he gets acclimated to the talent around him, he's only going to get better.
I didn't realize the Falcons' schedule was so easy.
Yeah, their combined winning percentage that they face is .368.
Yeah, but they
so
seem
37%.
They seem to have a unique way of losing games. Like, they should be better than their record.
I don't have a lot of confidence in the Falcons going forward.
And the Commanders have the tiebreak.
Right.
Beat them head to head.
Yep.
Right.
All right, 800-636-1067. Do you still see a chance, might be an outside chance, but this team could still get into the playoffs?
All right, let's go to Joe in Manassas. Joe, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Junk? I love the show as always, but
Thanks, man.
you guys are like the typical. I mean, I know that you guys aren't all Redskins fans, but like, and I know EB you are, but like the ups and downs, like with the team, man. It's like, man, last week, we lose, get smashed by the Bears. We're like the worst team, like crush it, burn it all down. This week, it's like we got a chance.
Joe, it's
like,
week to week. The NFL's will
I feel you, man.
watch the product.
But hey, right. That's what I want you to say. Watch the product. The product is, we might sneak into the playoffs possibly because the NFC sucks, and we might lose a game right off the top and be done.
Yep.
Like, is that? I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Burn
What do you
the whole
want to
thing
do?
down, bro.
What do you want to do?
I want to burn. I don't want the team to win, honestly, right now.
See,
like,
you're a loser.
You're
a loser.
Hey, BD, you're the loser, bro, because you want to keep on being mediocre.
No,
the
I
whole
don't.
Mediocre. The whole.
No,
yeah,
I don't.
you do.
No, I don't.
One week you're like, we're the best team. Yeah, what we need to do is evaluate the quarterback and go from there. Burn the rest down. The coaches are gone. Everything really doesn't matter.
Well,
Buddy.
Yeah, but Joe,
There's too many good pieces to burn it down.
Joe, you want them to lose, but you want to see the quarterback develop. The reason they're winning some of these games is because the quarterback is developing. So you can't have it both ways.
Why can't we do both?
Why? How's that possible? How's that possible?
Okay, and let me ask you this. Can you see the progress of a quarterback around the offense? The defense goes up 30-some points a game. Like, who
We just
cares,
gave up 17.
Man?
We just gave up 17.
All right. Okay, EB, how many points do we average giving up a game?
I know, but I'm saying, you know what? We average a
I
lot
know,
better
but-
actually
I know,
without
but-
Chase and Montez.
I know, but this team sucks. And I know that we're not going to make any noise. So let's get real and wrap our head around that and look and see what we got in our quarterback and stop wishing and hoping and, man, we're going to do this and that. No. Until we get a real coaching staff and a real organization around them, like we've done, we're not gonna be anything, man. Let's get real. Like, I know you guys got to talk about it for 4 hours, but let's get real. Stop this. Oh, this week we're worst team in the NFL. Oh, we got a chance to make the playoffs. Like, yes, we do.
All right, thank you, Joe. We appreciate the call. Thank you.
Nobody thinks that they're Super Bowl contenders this year.
No.
But I do think that they have enough pieces to not warrant burning it down. You might want to get rid of the coaching staff. That's fine. You might want to swap out the front office folks. That's fine. But I think you have enough pieces here. You're still building.
And especially if they have hit on the quarterback and Sam keeps ascending the way that he is and he throws for, 28 or 30 touchdowns, the new regime is going to have to come in and consider him, I would guess,
The starter
their
for next year.
going forward.
I was just confused.
Especially on a cheap contract.
I'm confused by what Joe was saying. I was very confused.
He just wants...
You want to burn it down, but you want your quarterback to keep getting better. Well, when you burn everything down, your quarterback sucks, and you have no shot at winning games. So I don't know which way you want it, Joe. Joe in Manassas. Can you
I think Joe
can you make a point? Can you make a valid point? Because the points you were trying to make don't make sense.
Let's go to David in D.C. David, you're on with the Junks.
Hey, love your show, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Caller.
Thank you, David.
Listen, we can still make a run. We got great pieces on the team. We're learning each and every week how to play better and be better. If we go beat Seattle, we'll get the Giants. We'll have momentum going into Dallas and beat them on Turkey Day, and we can look forward to making the playoffs. We got the pieces in place. Just keep hope alive. I think we can get there.
Right. All right. Thank you,
He's
buddy.
optimistic.
I don't know if we can get there, but
I mean, the remaining schedule is very difficult.
Yeah.
Unless some of these teams lose key players, like, some of the quarterbacks, then they're much different. But the Giants game in 2 weeks,
it's a gimme.
That should be a gimme. It should be a gimme.
You can't say that after we just lost it. You can't say it's a gimme.
I know, but again,
Daniel Jones likely tore his ACL. And
Daniel Jones is out. Right? He's not going to play
next
game.
And Tyrod Taylor, according to Cakes, won't be eligible to return.
I think he comes back early December.
Yeah, so you're going to have a third-string quarterback at home. You've got to win that game, Eric Bickel. Now, this week, different story. Going to Seattle, not going to be easy. I would pick Seattle in this game, but who knows? The league's unpredictable.
Who knows? Maybe they'll bring back your boy Carson. Like, they got to find somebody to play quarterback.
What are you going to say, Draft?
I don't understand a lot of these callers, and some of them I'm just hanging up on because they got their Bluetooth and radio on and all this crap. But they're not rooting for the Commanders to make the playoffs. They want to see them bottom out and have what? So you can have
we
the
just have loser
There is no
fans.
bottoming out.
I don't understand it.
Grab, I'm with you. There is no bottoming out. You
There's no
bottom out
bottoming
with
out.
2 wins.
Yes,
They're
the Giants
past
can
that
bottom
point.
out. The Commanders can't bottom
That's
out.
what I'm saying. Yeah,
So
it
what?
just doesn't make sense to me.
All you care. You say we have our quarterback. We have our quarterback. You don't want your quarterback to have playoff experience. You don't want him to have a big time game to go through that development.
I think maybe
you want
part
the
of it
9th
is
pick instead of the 19th. Who cares?
I agree 100%. That's what I've said for 10 years.
Okay, but they're not. They're too good to even think about tanking.
Well, of course. But I think people are scared that Ron could steal another year out of it. I think, honestly, that's what people
They
are
keep
scared
saying
of.
that. You're right. No, they're saying that.
Yeah,
May,
that's
there
what they're
might
scared
there
of.
may be an undercurrent
All right,
of that.
so if
but
that's the reason
that's
you
what
want him
they're
to
scared
lose.
of.
short of Ron going on a deep playoff
They're
run,
scared of
and
Ron
I mean like
saving his ass
like
for
Ron
another
going to
year.
the NFC title game, Ron is not coming back. Josh Harris knows what Ron is. He knows that Ron is limited and that he needs something different going forward.
How about this scenario, Cakes? I heard Finley posit this as at a minimum, and maybe Ron could sell this, is he gives up personnel control, and you have other guys making personnel guys, but you keep him as
I don't even think
him and
that
the staff in.
I mean, it's a fine
You
theory.
don't want that.
I don't think that saves
I'm not
them.
saying I want it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a scenario maybe he could sell.
See, here's the problem.
I'm not buying that.
If you're losing games, but your offense still looks good and Bieniemy looks like he's got total control of the offense and they're putting up yards and numbers, then the question is, do you want Bieniemy as your head coach next year, or do you want a whole new staff and you lose Bieniemy and you might downgrade at offensive coordinator? That's the problem. And then Hal's in a totally different system next year. So I can see where people are a little bit confused and concerned at the wins might help Ron, but Bieniemy's a whole different animal.
I'm still not even sold on Bieniemy. I think he's had a couple good, decent weeks.
Well, let's see how it progresses.
But, I mean, basically he's had about 2.5 decent weeks.
I agree. But there's still a ton of games.
And by the way, for you weirdo Commanders fans, these are the only teams in the tanking conversation right now. Arizona, Carolina, Chicago, the Giants, the Patriots. That's it. Those are the teams in contention for the top pick.
This is unverified because I had a hard time finding current playoff possibilities.
Okay.
But somebody tweeted us
Okay.
and said the current playoff possibilities
Percentage?
projections for the Commanders is 13%.
Ooh.
That seems kind of low.
I was going to guess 30%.
That's very low.
That seems strikingly
But I
low.
think that's fine. It's fine. I mean, we shouldn't get too worked up about playoffs after like one
No,
win.
But,
you know,
but that should be the goal. If you're
For sure.
if you're 4-5 and you're the first team out of the playoffs should be your goal.
Right.
100%.
Beating other teams in front of you, like the Seahawks on the road, who, let's be honest, if they look anything like they did against Baltimore, then that's a different animal. I understand. If they play anything like that, Commanders have a great shot at winning.
It's going to require stealing a couple games
What's
against
the
good
early
teams.
line on that?
6.5.
So Seattle favored by 6 after they just got smoked by 34 or whatever. the hell it was.
Yes.
That's pretty telling. In other
And,
words,
the
that's-
Commanders are plus 225 on the money line.
I have now
Dude,
verified
that
it.
is disrespectful.
I have now verified it. New York Times has each path to the postseason, and the percentage is 13%.
Right.
So I wonder what the Vikings are. The Vikings are at 61%. The Falcons are at 33%. Those are the teams, and it's probably based on the schedule strength.
It's
stunned.
100%. Yeah.
Well, I'm stunned that the Falcons are that much
that high.
higher because, I mean, the Commanders already have the heads-up matchup with
Yeah,
them.
but he's saying that they're
They have
looking
the
at the
easiest schedule.
Yeah.
They're looking at the remaining opponents. All right, let's go to Mo and Largo. That's our boy.
Honestly, there's no way we're going to make the playoffs. The
the schedule is brutal.
I
Yeah.
mean, we have to. You talk about a must. You have to win this week if you want to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then you have to beat the Giants.
You just have to pull off one or two upsets.
Well, I would think
against
Seattle
you-
would be one.
you
I think
need
you
more
need more
than-
than that, dude, because
You need more than two
I mean, we're going to be
upsets.
dogs in every game the rest of the way except for the Giants, presumably.
Correct.
And the Rams.
How do you know?
Well, don't
Stafford
know,
could
but-
be back in
If
that
Stafford's back, they'll probably be a favorite.
game. That game's late.
Seahawks, Giants have to win. The Jets and Rams, you have to win. Then that would get you to, what, 8 wins? I don't think that's going to get you there.
Probably
so then you
not.
got to beat either the Cowboys. You got 2 cracks at them, the Niners or the Dolphins.
Now, the last Cowboy game could be meaningless for Dallas. We'll see. I mean, it was last year.
Right. All right, let's bang out these calls. Let's go to Mo. Largo. Mo, what's up, man?
Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
Yes, Mo.
I think we can get to 8. I mean, if you mess around and maybe beat the Niners here, then maybe you get to 9. But I think you can get to 8 wins, and if 8 wins get you into the playoffs, then great. But I think you guys hit the nail on the head. I think that's what everyone's really scared of is any future success might translate to Rivera extending his stay here.
Right.
And nobody wants that. I think that was a very key point. But, no, I don't want to see us lose. I mean, at the end of the day, I want to see a competent and competitive team. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of, what our draft status is, because after this season, as far as I'm concerned, we have a quarterback. So we can address other, positions that need to be addressed. So, no, I'm not trying to see us tank by any means. I mean, I want to see us win, and I think it's written on the wall that Rivera's gone regardless of what takes
I think he's gone
I agree.
regardless. And
I
if you
agree
look at Josh
wholeheartedly.
Harris's track record
Thanks,
with
Mo.
the Sixers, he had a team that was making the playoffs, fired that guy, hired Doc Rivers because they weren't going deep enough. Then he gave Doc Rivers 4 seasons, and they were getting to like the second round, wasn't good enough, fired him.
Yeah.
So playoffs, and I know the NBA is a little different because more teams, like a greater percentage of teams, make the playoffs, but playoffs wasn't good enough in the NBA for Josh Harris.
Harris is not going to inherit a relic-type older head coach and not upgrade, especially if the results aren't there.
That's why you shouldn't worry about the success of the team impacting Josh Harris' decision on Ron. That's not going to happen, people. They're not going to be back.
Right.
Bieniemy, different story, don't know. But Ron's not going to be back. Jack Del Rio's not going to be back. They're going to make a move. So right now, you should wish for wins just to get to the playoffs so you have something to root for. And even if they lost in the first round of the playoffs, you still want to watch it.
Right.
I mean,
it's
by the way,
progress.
that would be a great achievement.
You're making the argument I make every year.
Yeah, I mean,
every time this conversation comes up, I'd always just give me. I'll take squeaking into the playoffs.
It's a loser fan base, like you said. They embraced the Wizards
They
tanking.
love tanking.
Love tanking. This town loves it.
They love the idea of it.
Yes.
They're
These
just
are my
so
people. The
fascinated by it.
tankers and the booers. These are my people. I love
All right,
you.
let's go
Get
to
in
Rick.
here. Give me a big hug.
Catonsville. This town has no heart.
Good morning,
Love to
guys.
lose.
Rick,
Yeah.
what's up?
Good morning. Yeah, I'm just trying to be a realist here. As far as making the playoffs, I would say if we beat the teams that we should have beat this year,
We would.
then maybe we could make a run to the playoffs.
Yes, true.
We did. If we would have beat the Giants,
Right.
we would have beat the Bears.
Killer
and
loss.
Yeah,
By the way,
losses.
it's beaten.
Both
Yeah.
of them.
Ex-
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. And to steal a couple wins against, say, Cowboys twice, the Niners, and maybe the Niners because they're not playing that well, is not really reality. So I'm a diehard fan, and I'd love to see it happen. I'm not into the tanking. But I will say that going into next year, I do like Hal. I think he's a serviceable quarterback. Put an offensive line in front of him, but the defense needs to be addressed.
Mhm.
We're getting burnt long a lot. We're giving up a lot of points. But anyways, I'd love to see him to make the playoffs, and I agree with you guys. Barring winning the Super Bowl, the coaching staff has got to go. And we know that's not going to happen this year, but that's kind of what I got for you guys.
All right,
I mean,
thank you.
If you look at just the math of it all and you go, all right, well, 8 wins probably not going to get you in the playoffs, all right?
I don't think
I would be shocked if 8 did. 9, you got an outside shot because a couple of those 5-win teams are going to have 10 wins, all right? So at the very least, you got to have that 9 wins. So you got to go 5-3 down the stretch. Is that possible? Probably not. I mean, I can't.
It's unlikely.
I can't see him getting 5 wins against that schedule, but who knows? But at least you have to root for it.
Daunting schedule.
Now
Yeah,
you
but
lose.
maybe
to,
the Vikings collapse because their quarterback situation is an upheaval. I mean, maybe they're going to go with Josh Dobbs the rest of the way, but it's not an ideal quarterback situation with no Kirk Cousins there. So maybe they come back and end up losing. They have 8 games remaining.
They could.
What if they go 2-6 down the stretch and they only win 7 games?
Then you're
it's
probably
possible.
going to beat them out. But those other teams, it's probably going to take 5 wins to be in the discussion.
Here's one thing to look at just contextually. In the NFC, on ESPN, they have something called Strength of Victories. All right? So it's obviously looking at the quality of your wins.
Washington's way down.
Yeah, Washington right now, the winning percentage of the teams they faced is 286 of their wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're beating,
which is the third lowest,
bums, which is what you need to do.
Third lowest in the NFC.
They just don't have enough bums on the schedule at this point. They just don't.
Need more Cardinals. And
you had bums and you lost a couple of them.
You know who's really bum hunting wins? I'll tell you counterfeit. New Orleans, 5-4. They have a lower strength of victories at 279.
That's not even possible.
I thought you said the Dolphins are right there.
The Dolphins, I think the Dolphins
yeah,
are
but that's AFC. I'm looking at the NFC.
Oh, yeah, Dolphins are 0-3 against teams over 500, and then 6-0 against teams under 500.
The Dolphins' strength of victory is .260. So very similar to the Commanders.
They're feasting on the numbers.
Dolphins haven't beaten anybody good.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Mark and Frederick. Okay, so it'll be quickly, I promise. Quick. Mark, what's up?
Yeah, hi, great. Look, I hope they make the playoffs. They might win 8 games if lightning strikes. But for the most part, I see this team, just like the pundits were saying before the season started, winning 6 or 7 games.
Do you think they found their quarterback?
I think they may have. I'm not going to get overly excited over 2 good games. He's still throwing the ball too many times. But, if that's the way they want to run the offense.
That's not his fault.
He can handle a big workload.
Is this supposed to shun the play call that comes in? Bieniemy calls. Here's Bieniemy's strategy every week. Pass, pass, pass. All right, let's throw it around. Pass, pass, pass. Throw it around.
It's actually more balanced this week.
Yeah. They seem to run.
They ran a ton of plays.
I'm exaggerating.
Yeah.